Hey everyone, it's take two. Something went wrong with the previous video, so I'm gonna do this again. So first and foremost, happy Monday and happy holidays to those of you who are celebrating today and tomorrow. What I wanted to talk to you about is the perception that we have to choose between either or versus playing in the limitless possibilities to create the life of your desires that is fueled by your desires, as opposed to having to pick either or, and if I wanted this, I can't have that. Now, just for the context, I'm going to put this into a container of having a life and running a business in a way that it allows you the freedom to either pick up and go, right? Travel the world and either move to a different country or live a location-free life. And the reason I'm putting I am putting it into this container is because I'm noticing through conversations with my clients that those are the people that I'm attracting the most, are the ones who have this desire, who envision, they close their eyes and they think about their dream life and traveling comes on. And oh, thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate it. I received that. Traveling to me is also one of the core values, the quality of time. And I have to be honest, and this is going to be tying into the second part of this live stream later. I'm going to show you exactly why this is so important. But to, walk the talk, I'm advocate of transparency, so here it goes. I mentioned many times, and it's no secret that over the past couple of years, I have been in a huge transition in my personal life. And I have been feeling into different levels, into different ways of how to bring together my gifts with my vision and desired lifestyle that I want to create for myself and for my family, and also with my clients. And I, as well as so many others that I see, I have jumped on that bandwagon of conviction that you only can justify your worth if you help people make money. And a lot of things revolved around money, even in my own marketing, in the way that I help people. And the funny thing was that the results that my clients were getting, yes, they were great monetary results, but on the inside, I was like, something's missing. Something's not quite it. So I kept digging and I kept digging and I kept digging and I kept going back to all the notes and I kept going back to, who are the people? What is the essence? What are their burning desires? What are their dreams that they are afraid to even express, much less to leap in order to fulfill them? And again, in full circle, it came down to traveling. That is one of the core values that we share. And I was like, well, it doesn't get much easier than that then, because this is pretty much a lifestyle that I live. And I have been living since I was 12 years old, traveling around the world. So I want to share with you some unconventional truths. If you find yourself in a space where you have this amazing vision board, when you are journaling pages and pages and pages, when you're spilling your soul onto the paper, where you close your eyes and you're like, oh my gosh, I can see myself living this lifestyle. I can see myself either traveling with my kids or living a location-free life, or being able to pack up and go on this vacation and that vacation, or having clients here, having clients there. Whatever your version is, first and foremost, there is no right or wrong way of doing things. There's no rule that says that it has to look in a particular way. You are the one who makes it happen in a way that you want it. That's first thing. Now, the typical objections that start to come up, and the fears, and the seemingly very logical reasons as to why we can't do something, there's always going to be there. Those fears, those reasons, they're always going to be there. But as long as you have this notion of I can't, and then find an excuse, of course it's not going to happen. Now, if I'm going to challenge you here for now, what if you reframed your mind and make it just as easy as it is for you to come up with an excuse, to make it just as easy to come up with a reason why you can. And I'm going to give you the first reason why you can make it happen. Because you already have this vision. for the fact that you have this vision, for the fact that you can envision it and see it and feel it and taste it and smell it when you close your eyes and when you tap into it. That in itself is a fact and a reason enough why you can make it happen. The rest are just details, the figuring out the how. Those are just details. So let's get into those details. We are probably, since you're here in my circles, both you and I, high achievers, highly driven people who like to challenge ourselves, who find ourselves in kind of a funk when there's nothing for us to do, when it's just the relax, right? It takes quite some practice to make that work for us. So I'm gonna go with this need to challenge ourselves, need to outperform ourselves, need to continuously compete with our ego, so to speak. So when it comes to the puzzle solving of the how we're gonna make it happen, what we end up doing is we are setting ourselves up for failure by creating all sorts of conditions. I can only do that when. One day when. And those conditions are typically something on the external, something that has nothing to do with us, something that has nothing to do with our desires, something that has nothing to do with our capabilities. It is pretty much our own way to keep us safe and tucked in and in this space where we currently are, because we know that once we give ourselves a permission and once we figure out and just leap and make it happen, our lives are going to change. And oftentimes people who are nearest and dearest to us are going to be hurt. They're not going to understand us. Some of our friends, they will have to, they will choose to walk out of our lives, or we will choose to walk out of their lives because we will be changed person at the end of this journey. And all of that is very uncomfortable. And now, not to mention your business. I talk to business owners day in and day out, and one of their main objections is, I can't possibly leave my office. I can't possibly restructure my fees because what my clients are going to say. I can't possibly hire so many people on my team because first and foremost, I'm the one who does it best. Second, it takes way too long to train them. Third, all these responsibilities now that I have to run and manage and, chatter and all those excuses. So then again, when we're trying to figure out how to make it happen, all of those things create this mile-long list of the reasons why we should just stay the way it is, why we should just, settle. And I'm going to tell you that once we fall into this cycle, what comes out is judgment and the feeling of guilt, and deeper and deeper and deeper disconnect between who you truly are to what you allow yourself to be. And with that comes that lack of self-trust, because you are letting yourself down over and over and over again. And as the days go by, as the weeks go by, as the months go by, your soul dies. Every little bit of pieces, like slowly, day after day, week after week, month after month. And there's nothing worse than living this life of pretense, living this life when on the outside everything is still perfect, right? Because you still put on the smile, you still show up for your people, you still do what you think you're supposed to be doing. Just like I said earlier, right, in running my own business and consulting, just because I have background in business, just because I'm good at helping clients create money, doesn't necessarily mean that my soul wants to keep doing this. And it took me a long time and a lot of courage and a lot of strength and a lot of push and pull to get to the point when I was able to declare that, hey, to me, it feels shallow. There's more to it than just creating the money. There is more depth to life, to what we desire to create, what we are here for. And it's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that it's not good enough if somebody else does it. It's not my calling. So the third part, the third component, the third level of you being able to take that leap and turn that vision into reality is recognizing those discrepancies, recognizing the gaps between what you believe you should be doing, how you choose to show up out of fear of missing out, or out of fear of hurting somebody, or out of fear of living all this hard work that you have put in for years and years and years, some of you even decades, you can't possibly let it go to waste, right? That's what's holding you back. When you allow yourself to be directed by the ego, you're destined to fail. Okay? So now that we are covered, we have covered the ultimate shift of I can create what I envision. How I'm going to create what I envision. What are some of the obstacles I need to get out of the way? This another obstacle is also a big one when it comes to us overachievers, right? It's not just specific conditions that can drive us crazy, pretty much. It is also the true and raw reason behind it. Why, the real why you have this vision and this desire. And I would like you to sit with this also and be really honest with yourself when you think about traveling, when you think about moving to another country, when you think about creating a business that allows you to create twice as much in half the time, serve twice as many people in half the time, create twice the impact in half the time, for example. What is the true purpose behind it? When you want to shift from a very masculine industry into a very feminine one, okay, let me reframe that. When you want to shift from an industry where you are required to show in a very masculine energy, which has to do with a lot of financing, it has to do with a lot of negotiations, like versus places, industries, professions where you can show up in your feminine energy, be vulnerable, speak softly, use your innate gifts, divine gifts, right? When it's more soul-based, why are you doing that? And I'm gonna tell you, I had a client who has created multiple seven-figure business in a very masculine environment and was struggling with getting her ends meet on the very feminine side. And she knew, theoretically, she knew the mechanics of how to make it happen, but she couldn't make it happen. And here is why. Because her why going into this new environment was not based on the desire, it was based out of fear. She was running away from the pain, she was running away from the disappointment, she was running away from incredible price she had to pay for her success. So I'm gonna ask you to sit with your why. Why is that you desire to move into another country, for example? Is it because you're running away from something? Or is it truly your desire to get to the next level, to get closer to your ultimate destination that you feel called towards? Because this is going to be the underlining way, it's going to be one of the pillars that's going to set it apart in a way, whether you're waiting for things to happen and you feel like whatever it is that you do, you take 3 steps forward and 2 steps backwards. Whatever it is that you do, there's always something falling apart. Whatever you do, there's always fires to put out. Or, you're thriving in 3 elements, 3 containers, 3 aspects of your life, and then one is definitely falling apart. It's because there's something that you're running away from. It's something uncovered. It's something untapped. It's something that is seeking your attention. It's something that needs to be dealt with. But on the other hand, when you are truly, fully, raw, honest with yourself, when you're super clear on what is fueling that desire of yours and that your intentions are really pure, it is really easy to create. You are now creating from this space of what's the word again? I'm trying to find, in a space that is really congruent, there is aligned, that energizes you, that is showing you steps, showing you a way that pulls you. There's no need for push, right? And things are just starting to fall together. They start to come together. The right people start to show up in your lives, and it is much, much, much easier. It's much simpler. It's much more joyful, and it's much more fulfilling. So with all that being said, in summary, you know, when you have this vision, you absolutely choose which game you're going to play. Are you going to choose the hard way or the easy way? And if you do choose the easy way, it is going to require you to dig through some of very deep fears, to heal some very deep wounds, and then surrender into the unknowing, trusting and believing that as you are doing this work, it doesn't necessarily mean pulling all-nighters and doing the non-stop outreach and all the hard hustle that we are taught to do when it comes to business and making your dreams a reality. But it's that easy way when it comes so natural to you that you don't even have to think about it. When ideas are just popping up, when the opportunities are just showing up, when the right people are walking into your life, and when, you know, the right places just start calling you and everything aligns. There's no struggle. There's no frustration. It really is that easy. You choose it to be that easy. And it all starts with your internal commitment to yourself, your commitment to your vision, your commitment to making it non-negotiable. Because as long as you're gonna allowing the external stuff like people's opinions or zeros on your bank account or pending contracts or schedule of your kids' school dictate the way you live, you're always going to be playing that waiting game. You're always going to be the one pushing and pushing and pushing and writing and hoping to make it happen, only to see it fall apart again and again and again and again. You choose. You are the one who chooses, and just because you get to have this vision, it already means you have the capacity to make it happen. Now it's on you to roll up the sleeves and go after it. If you have questions, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to take you by the hand, walk you through every step of the process, because let's face it, it does get tough. It does get uncomfortable. It does get to the point when you're thinking like, I've done this before, it didn't work. Well, when that before, you were not the same person. The circumstances were not the same. But as long as you're approaching solving the problem with the same mind that created the problem, I can guarantee you're going to keep circling around and hitting the same glass ceiling, hitting the same challenges, just on different levels, and they're going to be showing up differently. So if you do want somebody to help you navigate through the maze, to help you create a blueprint for you, to take you by the hand, to get you over the hurdles, and to be able to pinpoint challenges that are yet to arise, hey, let me know, okay? Reach out and we'll talk. Until then, take care, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment, tag me in a comment, and if you know anybody who could benefit from this video and the message, please share it with them. Thank you, much love, bye.